Hello there, and thank you for clicking on this video. As you can see by this picture next to me, by the beautiful Elron. No, that's not Elron. Who is this? This guy you can see here. We're gonna talk about the rings of trash because I don't see any power. Okay, this doesn't make sense, but so does the show. Like it doesn't make sense. There's like I just finished making a video about She-Hulk and now this, and it's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to complain, but these shows are trash. Like, who spent so much money? I mean, She-Hulk, we can see nobody cared really, like they did not spend anything. But here, I mean, most of the quality, I guess like 70%, it looks really good. Like, okay, 60%, because the costumes look like super cheap. Like, come on, like, uh, they're historical dramas and like medieval stuff with better costumes and they cost less. And these costumes don't look good. Like everything that Galadriel ever wears looks super basic and super cheap. Like it doesn't look expensive. It doesn't look unique. It's just so basic. And I mean, Elrond dresses somewhat nicely, but it's just bad. It's nothing mind blowing. And this show was supposed to be mind blowing, groundbreaking. Like I'm comparing it to She-Hulk because, as I said, nobody cares. But here, they spent money, like you can see. But I don't understand, like, how could you make this? Like, I'm not a Tolkien scholar. Like, I haven't read the books. I know more or less, some stuff. I love the movies, but still, even I can see this is like the dialogue is so bad. Like, I have a tempest in me. What the, like, what? It's really bad. Like, the script is just, I don't, most of the time it's very basic stuff, but on the other hand, it's a lot of nonsensical stuff that they're saying, like they're rocking the ship. Like, are you stupid? Like, do you need help? Like, what the hell? Did you go to first grade? Like, it does not make any sense. Yeah, as I said, the costumes as well, like you would expect more. You would totally expect more. Like, I'm gonna compare it now to another show that's basically the same thing, but a whole totally different thing. House of the Dragon. Like, this show is freaking insane. Like, the costumes are fantastic. Like, all the dresses, especially the ones that Alicent wears, are gorgeous. Like, the hair, the makeup, the dresses, every costume is so good. It's really good. They really put, a lot of thought and a lot of time and a lot of passion into making a good show. And House of the Dragon is the superior show in any sense, or way, or form, or shape. It's just better. It started first, I think. It started before this, and now it's gonna end before this, and after this, I mean, and it's gonna stay in people's minds for way, way longer. Like, the Rings of Power does not any value. People don't really care about it. Like, I started my studies, and like, so far two professors have made some sort of analogy with House of the Dragon, and I'm like, see, this is what you want. People actually talk about it like normal people. While Rings of Power is like, you don't even know where to start. Like, what is this? Why is this? What are we watching? And their big final. Like, let's take a look what happened in there. So here you have the credits, I think. Oh my god, that face, like, go. Okay, so Gandalf, because I this is most likely Gandalf. Like, come on, he is retarded. I don't know what is his purpose here. I mean, him and the Harfoots. I don't understand what the whole purpose of them is. Like even the Harfords, like they don't like. I'm sorry, but the Harfords have no purpose in this. Like, and you know, I started watching the first movie like 2 weeks ago, and you start in the Shire, and the hobbits are so pretty. They're so clean. Houses, the fields, everything is so well made. It's so fine. Like they have a whole cute town that's very well kept, and they're super classy. I mean, Bilbo is like the classiest person ever. And then you have them, like the Harfoots. Where are they? Let's see. The Harfoots, who are super super dirty. I don't want to say dirty, but like they are. Okay, Sauron. Oh my god. And you know they want to convey that the Harfoots are like a very tight kept community, like they love each other, but like we learned so far that every chance they get, they're just gonna leave each other, like to die, literally. And they had this one scene where they were literally just laughing when they were talking about the people who died. And it's like, are you kidding me? Okay, I cannot find the Harfoots right now, but yeah, so far about the Harfoots enough. But yeah, let's talk about Elrond and Celebrimbor. He's kind of stupid and slow. I think that Elrond is. I mean, this is not Elrond, but this wannabe Elrond is I guess the best, one of the best things in this show. Like at least he seems plausible. Like he seems like the actor is actually doing a good job. Like he's trying his best. At the beginning, like I was not sure, but now I think that he is trying his best. It's not his fault. I understand that, but when it comes to the High King, he's also like, I mean, I don't know. Like most of the actors, maybe it's because of their script or whatever, but they're not even convincing. I don't know. So Sauron, let's talk about Sauron. So Sauron is gonna become bad again because Galadriel said no to him, and I don't even know what to say. Like, this is how Sauron becomes like the ruler of whatever Middle Earth. Like, because she said no to him. And the thing is, he wanted her to stay next to him so he can be more or less good. He was like, I want you to be my anchor to humanity. And she's like, no. I I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. It's like 10 p.m. and I'm like just trying to find words, to express my opinions, but it's like, why would you write this story? I apparently, the creators, they always said, they wanted to stay true to Tolkien, and they're inspired by him and by his world and by his characters. And then you write shit like this. I why? And Galadriel, as far as I remember, she has a husband, and apparently she has a daughter as well. Like, where is her husband? Like, why is she flirting with freaking Sauron? I don't. Uh, yeah, and Galadriel, like, I'm sorry, girl, but this is not Galadriel. It's like she could have been, the Galadriel from Lord of the Rings. You can make her different, but still stay true to her very feminine, power, her femininity, because many women find their power in their femininity, in the fact that they're actually women. And here you have her, she's literally a man, like she doesn't, she's not, yes, you can have women warriors, but this is not it, this is not who she is. And I'm sorry, but the actress, I don't know if it's the script because I've never seen her before, but she cannot act. Like she's really the weakest link in this whole thing. Like I think that Halbrand, the actor of Halbrand, is more or less good, but even he, like his attitude the whole time is like, I don't care, just leave me alone. And actually, like Galadriel is the one who's like, no, like you're gonna do that and that, and he's like, I don't want to. Well, you're gonna like, wow. So Galadriel literally, she's the reason why they're gonna have like wars and people are gonna die because she couldn't leave him just be because she had to be annoying. And these people like, uh, I don't know. So I'm just gonna drink something because my throat is not okay. I'm trying to show you something else, but to see if there's something else I have to talk about, but I don't think that there is. Oh yeah, the he died. Just like why? And the thing is, like, if someone dies in this show, it's like I don't care. Just do whatever because like I couldn't connect to anyone. I couldn't connect to any of the characters. And the thing is, whereas in House of the Dragon, like I more or less skipped the first episode. I did not watch. I skipped the second episode as well, and I think I only partly watched episode 3. And despite me not being there from the beginning, I was like, yeah, I like love you all. Like I'm invested in like a lot of characters. Like even in the first husband of Lenore, Rhaenyra's first husband, like at the beginning I was like, okay, who's that? But I was like, yes, honey, live your life, like I'm rooting for them, like I'm invested in them. And I spend less time with them than I have with the Rings of Power characters, like crazy. And maybe one of the reasons it is because in the Rings of Power you have so many characters. And apparently the writers said they're gonna have a more canonical season, a story in season 2. And season 2 is the season that people wanted to see in first season, if you know what I mean. It's like, why didn't you make that? Like, why didn't you everything that happened in Rings of Power? It didn't do anything like except turn Sauron bad. But this is not even like the my head hurts. Like I don't even know how to explain it. How disappointed I am by the whole thing. Elendil is also a character that maybe I kind of rooted for him, but like I don't know. Also, his man boobs. He had like an armor with boobs on it, and I'm like, are like this is like apparently the Minorians are like super powerful. They're like people, but like super people, and uh, you cannot know. And that this woman is super insufferable, like she's super entitled. I get it, she's the queen, but there is nothing like genuine or humane about her. Like Alicent, from House of the Dragon, she's as well like she can be very entitled, but you can see her struggle. Like you identify with her, you're like, honey, I get you. I mean, you're not a good person, but like I get you. And here, like there, no. And then what else do you have? These idiots, like, ugh. And why are they like? They don't look like elves. Even she doesn't look like an elf. Like, okay, why didn't you just get an actress that's like very tall? And why didn't you cast a cast that actually looks like elves? Yeah, you have them here. Like, I found it so funny. They randomly just put Halbrand as the king of the Southlands. Like, she was like, he's a king, and everyone were like, oh, hell, the king. Like, didn't you need proof? Like, one way or another. Like when I started watching the first movie, you know, what's his name? Legolas was like, "That's your king," but he knew because like he has the knowledge. Like they've known each other for such a long time, and he grew up like Aragorn grew up with the elves, whatever. And here it's just like randomly, like so stupid. I in this episode we don't have the dwarves, and I think that the dwarves were the only people that I actually kind of was invested in, but also like I don't know, it was also kind of a very superficial. Like there is there isn't heart and soul in the show. Everything is superficial. Everyone are super entitled. Everyone are insufferable. It's like, oh yeah, they're not now. They're gonna scream at each other. Okay, what else? Okay, so Sauron. She didn't tell anyone. Maybe she's gonna tell them in like season two. She still has time, but so yeah, you have here the Istar, that means wizard. Okay, why? Like, why did they make her? She's such a pretty girl, and then, uh, anyways, what else happens? Says goodbye to this another girl or whatever she is. What else? What else? Let me check the last, the last scene. Okay, they're making three rings, and are these the rings? Because in Lord of the Rings we got different rings. Like, I don't know. Like I was so confused. Like because in Lord of the Rings you have like three rings for the elves, nine rings for the kings, for the dwarves, and here just have three rings for the elves. Like wasn't it like story is that like a prequel? Is that a whole different thing? Like I'm so confused. Like where this stands. Well, for me it doesn't stand anywhere. This is just something way like it has no effects on Lord of the Rings. For me, the show is just a bunch of nothing. It doesn't matter. Like the show does not matter in the Lord of the Rings story. Like this show did not contribute anything. Like it, no. The rings. Yeah, and here we have a last Sauron. So I knew this was Sauron because of the people that I watched. And I don't know if I didn't know because of them. Like I didn't know if I would be surprised. I guess I don't know because my mom, like, she just watches, she just enjoys everything. She just chills. Like I get it, she has a nice life. She she doesn't have, she doesn't critically analyzes everything. When I tell her about it, she's like, oh yeah, I get that. She just wants to enjoy things, and that's totally fine. But she was kind of surprised that this was Sauron, and she was like, wait, I'm super confused. Like, what happened? Is Halbrand Sauron? Like, who is he? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh wow. And I'm like, yeah. So I guess people like that didn't read spoilers, and I weren't listening to people that talked about the show constantly, like they would be surprised, but I can't really say because I don't know. Like I think, still, I think it would have been even for me an underwhelming plot twist because, like, I don't know, like how Brand because of Galadriel, like really. Well, I think that's my worst video ever. I'm sorry, guys. It's like very late, and tomorrow I have to wake up at 6 a.m. Like, I don't have time to sleep. It's very bad. But anyways, do let me know. Did you like Lord? No. Did you like the Rings of Power? Are you looking forward to season two? Oh, and by the way, because I don't think I'm gonna make more videos on the show, but I know many people, and the actress herself, Morfydd Clark, was like, F off to everyone who is sending hate to my diverse friends, cast, whatever. I'm tired. And it's like, okay, like House of the Dragon has as well a diverse cast, and literally no one complained, even though the whole thing with Rhaenyra's kids. I mean, I wish they made it a bit not so obvious, because I mean, on the skin color, because it would have been maybe a bit more intriguing. But I think it's also fits the story because it was so obvious, but Viserys was like, no, it's not obvious. It was still very, very intriguing. They made it super well. Like, they wrote the show very well, even though it's like evident. You're like, okay, like, are we all pretending? And we're like, yeah, we are pretending because it's, Rhaenyra. And in the show, you also had like these are diverse elves and hobbits and whatever. And it's not like people don't like diverse people. It's like put them in, in good characters. Like, if what the elf, if he was a good character, nobody would say a thing. Like, nobody. Disa, she was somewhat of a good character, and people actually agree. Like, she and Durin, they had crazy chemistry. They really fit each other. Like, they were a good couple, and nobody complained about her. Yes, people had their reservations, but she was good. I liked her. But I'm sorry, but the elf, he was he and Bronwyn were like so bad, like no chemistry. Both cannot act. Maybe in other things here they couldn't. But I'm sorry, it's not diversity that people don't like. It's the fact that your show, your story is shitty. And that you're like using texts that are sacred to someone, to some people, and you're twisting them, and you're just making this thing that I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I feel like dirty after watching the show. Like, what was the purpose of that? So, as I said, it's not diversity, it's not racism. It's just your show sucks. Do let me know down below. What do you think of Lord of the Rings? It's all Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power. And I'll see you next video. And as always, may the force be with you.